feel safe enough to bring a child into this world. I feel disgusted.
Sometimes the way you get them is the way you lose them.
The Vanderpump Rules reunion teaser is here, and boy, does it look dramatic. Hey, you guys, welcome back. We are going to break down the biggest moments from this Vanderpump Rules trailer. But first, if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright, joined today by my very good friend, Zachary Reality. Hey, Zach, how are you?
Hey, I'm so good. I'm glad that this was the topic today because I saw this reunion this morning and I was like, oh my God, it's going to be better than the whole season, Morgan. Like, I think it's 2 or 3 parts, not sure, but I really do believe it will be so much better than the entire 12 episode season we got.
And that's so funny you say that because literally my first talking point for the two of us is, as Vanderpump
Uh-huh.
Rules season is coming to an end and we await the reunion, how do we feel about this season? Because I agree with you, Zach. I saw this trailer and I was like, wow, this reunion is going to be 10 times better than the season we just watched.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be better because I think there's been so much drama that has played out in real life. I mean, Lala and Randall, that is a huge topic of conversation right now in Vanderpump Rules culture. So it's like we didn't get to see that relationship play out on the season. What's going on with the restaurant, Schwartz and Sandy's, Tom and Ariana's or Tom and Katie's sandwich shop? Like we didn't get updates on that. James and Raquel are breaking up. Like when did that happen? So it seems like this season really had its best moments after the season, which makes this reunion so much more exciting.
Yeah, we had two major splits from main cast members in this off season. Of course, Lala and Randall, like you mentioned, cheating allegations there too. So definitely a messy breakup. And then James and Raquel also split up. Who were you more surprised to see break up, Lala and Randall or James and Raquel?
Probably James and Raquel, just because they did seem so solid. And obviously, there has been a lot of drama in their relationship years ago, but they finally got to a good place and they weren't fighting anymore like they used to. I mean, they did fight a few times this season, but it's nothing compared to the earlier seasons. So I thought that they were pretty solid. I always knew Lala and Randall would never work out. I mean, she never really talked too highly or authentically about their relationship from when he first got on the scene. So it's kind of unfortunate to see what happened because they did have a baby. And I'm a little shocked that they broke up so soon. But I kind of knew that Lala was like stopping planning her wedding. And it kind of felt like she had one foot in, one foot out. So I'm not too surprised that they broke up.
See, I feel the opposite. I am way more surprised that Lala and Randall broke up because this is the first time we're seeing Randall on a season. And he really is
Mhm.
presenting himself to be this, dedicated fiance to Lala. They're always running around playing pickleball with all the friends. He's always there for Ocean. And then we go to find out that really Lala has been going through quite the emotional roller coaster when it comes to her relationship with Randall, and she was very private and protective over that relationship for the past couple of years. So maybe that's why I was a bit more shocked, just because
Uh-huh.
she wasn't as open as maybe James and Raquel, who every fight they've ever had has been plastered all over Vanderpump Rules. So, of course,
Hmm.
we are going to get into all of this and we are going to break down the trailer for the reunion. Let's go ahead and kick it off with clip one.
Don't grimace at me telling you things that you've said.
You think I need attention? Yes. Scheana, I'm not you.
Oh my God.
Yes, Charlie.
I mean,
Yes.
just starting off with a bang. Of course, we see Andy and James talk to each other, and I feel like it kind of is just setting the mood. Like Andy really is going to ask James the tough questions, and we know James is not great at reacting to those type of things. And I thought, Scheana and Charlie, they were friends, and now they're a little bit like frenemies. I mean, do you think that this friendship between Scheana and Charlie will last?
I think that they're gonna be fine and they're gonna get over it. I think that Sheena just likes to have minions around on the show, and I think she likes having people do her dirty work, which we see on Real Housewives a lot when there is like an OG and like a new cast member, or just reality TV in general. So I think that Charlie just didn't realize that until this season. And I think now that there's so many other cast members gone, Charlie now knows, okay, this is who Scheana is. This is, how our relationship is. Okay, now I got it. So I think they'll be able to move forward in a friendship, but I think Charli now knows how Scheana likes to play around, especially when the cameras are up. And I think that's why Sheena's coming for Charli. And I don't think it's going to work because Charli, I feel like, has always been super mature on the show and she doesn't care about like the dumb stuff. So I'm 100% Team Charli. Where do you stand on this?
I mean, honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I could care
I
less
do.
about the Charlie and Sheena feud. Like, I just genuinely don't care when we have stuff like Lala and Randall to get to, which here's our next clip where Lala finally starts to address the split with Randall.
And then I forgot about fucking Randall of it all. Randall Emmett creeping around on me? That should have been brought to my attention.
I heard like some sexual rumors.
I thought he was a stand-up man.
The fact that this man, he made me feel safe enough to bring a child into this world.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a lot to unpack here, but one of the first things that Lala says in this clip is, it should have been brought to my attention. Do we really think that's true? Because every time Randall has been brought up on the show or things have been brought to Lala's
Mhm.
attention, she is super quick to shut it down. So do you think she's really
Yeah.
being genuine when she says that?
I don't know. I think Lala's going through a lot of hormones right now. I think that there was just like I think she's implying that one or a couple of the cast members may have heard things about Randall being sketchy on the side and just didn't tell her. And I think that's why she is getting so upset. But she has, she shouldn't be taking out this energy on her cast members. As you just mentioned, Lala has always been so triggered anytime you brought up anything wrong with Randall. And I mean, it was a secret, their relationship, for like a year before she shared it on the show. So I understand why people want to, tiptoe around Lala because she's so quick to react, to scream in your face, to accuse you of things. Lala is very aggressive. So I probably wouldn't have told her either because I wouldn't have wanted to get involved in that mess.
Yeah, and you know who are not tiptoeing around Lala in this reunion? That is Sheena and Brock, who Lala had a lot to say about their relationship. And even Lisa Vanderpump, we see her say something that caught me a little bit off guard in our next clip.
I feel disgusted.
Because you're too busy flying around on private jets and hanging out with Machine Gun Kelly.
Sometimes the way you get them is the way you lose them.
I love that
I
clip,
mean,
Morgan.
my jaw was on the floor when Lisa said that. But I mean, is that not what we've all been thinking this whole entire
Oh,
time?
yeah. Absolutely, and, that's always what we've been thinking the entire time, and I've, like, spent the time I've listened to Lala on a couple of podcasts because she shares her whole story. She already has shared her whole story, so I don't know what new information will come out at the reunion that I don't already know because Lala's been so open, and it really seems like Lala was ignoring the red flags for a long time, and she says she loved him, and she says that I mean, she kind of alluded to the fact that, she got with him for obvious reasons. There was no denying the fact that this man was a lot richer than her at the time. And also, he acted richer than he actually was. And I think it took Lala a minute to realize how cheap and sketchy he's been behind the scenes. I mean, you remember 50 Cent, the whole Fofty thing. There was multiple instances where Randall was not being super genuine in his business world, in his relationships. And Lala even said this, Morgan, and I don't know if you heard this, but she said on one of the podcasts I listened to recently that she heard that Randall said that Lala changed, like she got
When
less
she got
cool
sober.
when she got sober. And
Mm.
I think that is what really broke her. So I do feel bad for her. 100%. I feel like she did get played, but I also agree with Lisa at the same time. Like, you know what you signed up for.
Yeah, and I thought that maybe Lala just thought that she was going to be different, that Randall wasn't going to treat her the same way that he has treated every other girl in the past. But I mean, that's going to be a hot topic at the reunion. I want to switch gears a little bit to our next big breakup. James and Raquel. Now, Raquel has only done, I think, one public interview about her split with James. I don't think James has talked about it publicly. So, this is the first we're seeing the two of them interact. And if I remember correctly, they broke up the night before the reunion. So, this is all very raw in these next
Mhm.
clips. Let's take a look.
Something is afoot.
I've been having nightmares about our wedding day.
Yeah.
Oh, and I know that that's a short clip, but nightmares. I mean, that's a strong Word. That's a strong thing to admit. I've been having nightmares about our wedding day. Like, what was your reaction to that? That's
I
wild.
mean, the wedding, it is, but it's also the wedding day that they never even started planning. They got engaged, they never did anything to start planning the wedding. So I don't know what day she's talking about because it clearly, wasn't happening because they didn't make steps to make it happen. This breakup is definitely shocking, or at least, like I mentioned, I was shocked when I first heard about it. They did break up the night before the reunion, and Raquel was kind of thinking about it for a couple weeks, as she talked about on Sheena's podcast. And, when she was nervous to tell James that she was going to break up with him because James is very reactionary and very emotional, but it actually was the opposite, that when she did break up with him the night before the reunion, he was really cool with it. He saw the look in her eyes, he digested it, and then the next morning, it was actually James's idea to tell production and producers that we're not going to pretend that we're still together, because they were hesitant if they were going to open up about it because it was so fresh. So we're going to get the fresh outlooks from both of them at this reunion, because it literally did happen the night before they had the conversation.
Yeah, so next we're going to get into the cast reaction because, like you said, nobody really knew what was going on. They didn't even know how they were going to handle the
Mhm.
reunion. So let's take a look.
He's still your soulmate?
We believed that what you were showing us was the truth.
It was.
Well, it wasn't.
So here's where I'm confused. I don't necessarily have any inclination on what Lisa is talking about when she says, "We believe what you were showing us was the truth." My initial reaction is she talking about James's sobriety? But I know that that's not true. I believe James when he says that he is sober. I think we all do. So is she talking about the seriousness of their relationship? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely sober, or California sober, as they like to say. I kind of think it was about the relationship, because we saw them get engaged and then they planned this engagement party and this trip and they were so excited about it. And I think Lisa was just a little concerned that why they broke up so soon. Like, were they just getting engaged for the show, for the cameras? Every reality series, especially Vanderpump Rules, you need a proposal every year. There's always been a proposal every season, if not a wedding. Jackson, Brittany, Tom and Katie, Stassi and Bo. So it was like James and Raquel were up. So I wouldn't be surprised if producers encouraged them to get engaged on the season filming, even if they weren't ready. And I think that's what Lisa could be talking about.
Well, let's see. We have one more clip. I want to know your thoughts on if production maybe encouraged Raquel to do what we're about to see her do in this last clip.
Let's look at it.
Do you want it now? Don't give it back.
Yep,
I mean, Sheena's face is everything.
of
Does
course it
she give the
is.
ring back?
She does give the ring back. I know I'm like acting like I was there, but I do know. She does end up giving the ring back to him. I think Raquel just didn't want the ring. She was so over James and she's so ready to move on from the relationship that sometimes it's really not worth it to carry that ring and carry that burden. So I think that she's just like, here you go. And James, of course, is going to take it back and probably sell it if he hasn't already. And I think that they've kind of been open about their relationship. They're still amicably friends. They talk here and there. They're not as close as they used to, but I think it was better off. And I honestly think they're both doing pretty well since the split.
Well, after not the best season of Vanderpump Rules, I think, Zach, we both agree that we cannot wait for this reunion. It is going to be very dramatic and better than the whole past season of Vanderpump Rules. You guys, let us know in the comments what you think of anything. Lala split from Randall, James and Raquel breaking up, Scheana and Charli being frenemies, whatever it is that you want to sound off on in the comments, now is your opportunity to do so. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell also before you leave so you don't miss out on any of your favorite reality TV news. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright. I was joined by the wonderful Zachary Reality. We will see you guys back here next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.